Hey Fluffy, good morning. Today is election day here in my country. Not for president, it's for another politicians. So everyone is getting ready to go. I will go after I finish this. I'm not even interested in going. Hey Dracula. No, I have all day to go until 5 p.m. I have time to go. It's early. Hey Dania, good morning. Did something happen in K-pop? Something exciting? Does anyone know? For groups, dynamic, I have Heart to Hearts, this group Ahof or Ahof, I don't know how it's pronounced, Ahof, I guess it's. I-dle, I have EXO, BTS, Twice, TXT, and Enhypen. Oh wow! Enhypen announced that there are session for engines. Ah, the idol who hates fans and got exposed. Is Enhypen stealing trying to steal my idea? You know that I did, I had a live stream that was counseling for fans, for the fandom. I believe it was counseling for the fandoms. That was my idea, to have a sort of like therapeutic place for the fandoms. But yeah, it wasn't that successful. I guess if they would build something themselves, they would probably attract more people. Um, I love the counseling for fandom. I hope we have one again. Oh wait, guys, I cannot see a thing. I I have the other, but it's also so tiny. I cannot see. Wait. Oh, by the way, I watched their Spotify show. There was a question about would they watch tarot or shaman readings, and someone said he watched tarot on YouTube. Oh my! I have no idea how, but maybe I have to put subtitles available also in Korean, just in case. Yeah, maybe. I know people complain, people want translation. In TikTok, they are more insistent. But in here on YouTube, there's people that they speak different languages. Um, and they send comments that like, can you please turn on the translation, the translation and I believe I did. I did. And I had been searching for, I had put the automatic subtitles, and in there it appears the whole list. It's just that it doesn't let you choose like a lot of you have to choose one, I believe one. um I clicked on one of the languages, and it doesn't let you like, you know click differently. So I tried my best, to search for the translation option, but I think that, I don't know, and it's even in automatic. So if the person wants to, try to put on automatic translation, I believe it is. But I'm no genius about this, about, how the platform works. Sometimes I think it appears, sometimes it doesn't. I think that it depends, like one video at a time. I will have to set it up. But it's all like, now I understand why, there's people that when they have their channels and everything, that they have, the person that helps them with the content. Because honestly, me on my own, I do my best to try to upload things, but I'm just one person and I'm not an expert. I do try to learn every once in a while when there's a new update, or there's, I do watch certain tutorials. I think I basically know a bit about, how it works, but sometimes it's not, it just doesn't appear. They should give you credit. Maybe we can send the Spotify interview into. Oh yes, please, Dracula. I want to watch it. Enhypen were asked if they fall in love on tour, and some of them said yes. The Lulu fans are gonna be crazy now. Yes. I mean, this is the thing about, that sometimes we should, I am talking about the Lulu. We should do at some point a live stream. Maybe we should do it next Wednesday. The idols and the Luluness, if they are the Lulu in love, if they have the potential of falling in love faster or just be delusional. And you know, how is it like? I think that it would be a very interesting topic, because you know, they are people, they are men, they are, some of them are young men. So you know, sometimes when you are, you know, a teenager or even in your 20s, you can be delusional. It's not about age, it's not about, you know, reputation or position in life. Sometimes you are a dreamer, or you are a romantic, or you are someone that, you know, you get fascinated by, you know, you believe in love at first sight, you believe in soulmates. I don't know, there's a lot of kinds of people. So I think that we should explore, you know, what kind of the lulus the idols are in love, if they are, and if they are not, why, what is the reason. We can learn from them. But yeah, I totally believe that they could find, you know, certain fans beautiful, and just, you know, by having a small interaction or just looking at them, they could be at all in actually just being fascinated by some people, because they're men. At the end of the day, they are men, and they are visual, you know, they have eyes, they have a pair of eyes, just like we all do. And you know, they're free. I mean, it's that they're going to, you know, be that obvious, because there's a training behind, you know, behind their persona, to be, you know, civil, to not be a creep. um and But I definitely think that if they find someone pretty, it's very obvious in the eyes. Like any kind of person, it's very telling when someone is into another person. Some of them changed their answers though. Some of them said a clear no. Yeah, it's just that falling in love is a very, it's like, it's a lot. Falling in love, I think that is a lot. Maybe you could be like, you know, maybe paraphrase the question better, and be like, you know, did you find someone cute on tour? Did you meet someone that you thought that they were cute, or that they were your type? I don't know, something about attraction, something instantaneous, instead of falling in love. Falling in love, it, you know, yeah, I think that if some people take it out of context, and if they say that they fell in love while being on tour, people could say a lot. Some do sleep with fans and songs. We already know this happens here. This reminds me when Hyun said to a fan that she was his ideal type. Oh, yeah, like Jake said, love is a big word. Yeah, like come on, it's like, they never going to answer that though. It will imply they see people casually. Oh, I was so happy for my bias this week. I seen I follow him, and of course I follow Miyavi. Then we can pull. I want to pull cards for them together. I don't know if I have in the past, but for Yuta Miyavi, how was their dynamic? Because they had a presentation, a concert together. So I don't know if it was a concert. Probably was a performance. Just I'm already exaggerating. Maybe it was just a performance. I don't know. I haven't seen yet the whole thing, um, but I want to see their perceptions of each other. But they were amazing. I seen small clips. That's it. You know that usually Japanese content over here, unless a fan gets their hands on this and they share it, there's no way we can watch it. I don't know. Well, maybe it was private. I have no idea. Um, but yeah, Yuta did a live stream after that event, and he looked just so very happy. Miyavi also did an Instagram live, and he mentioned the good thing about joining Miyavi's live stream is that because he speaks English, he goes back to a bit of Japanese, um, um, and then he answers certain things in English. So it's very, you feel comfortable because you're like, okay, he kinda is translating for us what he's saying. So it's so cool. Um, mm. And Yuta mentioned Jungwoo because they were talking about the solos, because someone was asking him, are you excited for Hechan solo? And he said, oh yes. And then he remembered, he was like, I'm also very excited for Jungwoo, because Jungwoo is going to have his solo very soon, and I'm sure that he's going to be nervous, but I'm going to be, I'm going to support him and be like the number one Jungwoo soloist enthusiastic. um and I find this very cute, and he also was encouraging everyone to support, and to show support to Jungkook. And I think that that's also very, for me, something, these two, I know that there's people that they don't like Jungkook, there's something about Jungkook that they probably don't like, or they are not entirely like sure about, his character or what he does. But for me, I noticed how, for my bias, Chungo was this fresh of air, fresh air, fresh possibility for him to have a dynamic, other dynamic besides him being obsessed with Mark and him being all over Mark and just talking about Mark and becoming this, Mark follower. And when Jungkook started to, sort of tease Yuta and be like lion, and he started this whole trend of, trying to get a reaction out of Yuta and having Yuta, take the spotlight and acting cute and have a moment, um, and Jungkook created that. Jungkook created that, and then he created much more moments where Yuta, instead of Yuta being a follower, or not a follower, but him being remembered for being the member that was obsessed with Mark, he was starting to be known for this guy, that had these crazy interactions, and people got to know, I got to know more about Yuta and Yuta's personality because of Jungkook's questions, to Yuta. He was always asking or congratulating Yuta. I remember when they would react to their envies, that usually, that Yuta didn't get that much scenes back in the days. But I remember that Jungkook was the only one that every time Yuta would appear on the screen, everyone would be silent, even himself, even Yuta. But Jungkook will be the only one that will be like, "Oh, Yuta, that's so cool," and I think that habilitated, and I think that for Yuta at first it was annoying that Jungkook was trying to create these moments with him. I could see him being like, I don't like it, or stop it. But I think that then they created, because also Jungkook gets along very well with Mark, so they created this trio and they had these funny moments. But then, they started to have their moments, like, the two of them, which is also so cute. Because I think that, I noticed my bias doesn't like to be touched. Another one that he's a bit like, he's not that, sweet or affectionate. He doesn't smile that much unless he's making fun of something. I mean, his humor is very dry, but he would smile at Jungkook. So I think that maybe Jungkook as a fanboy, he succeeded and then he became a friend. Because also Jungkook is not, he doesn't hang, or he didn't used to hang out that much with the members, and then I would start to see that he would mention Jungkook a lot. So I think that Jungkook won. You know, he won my bias hurt, and I think that he also gave us a lot of cute moments. You know, that was beneficial for us to see another side of Yuta. And just I remember they had this conversation while being in Latam, where Jungkook was the only one that he was like praising you, and he was like, people here in Latin America, they love you. They really love you. I'm sure you're going to be very successful in the future because people love you. And even if, Mark and Yuta, because they were a bit tipsy, so they were laughing, they were like, okay, okay. But I think that Jungkook was trying to be deep about this, was trying really, like, he was being honest. Like, the level of, love and how people go crazy for Yuta here in Latam, is a reality. And I think that the way Jungkook said it also, I think that he said it for all of us. He sort of like is stopped a moment and just was able to communicate this to Yuta, because I think that sometimes I don't know, they are so busy, or they are so all the time in a rush, or maybe Yuta is now is more focused on getting to the Japanese market. He has always been part of this, but somehow he's promoting over there. But Latin American fans, they love Yuta, so also don't forget about us. And when he said it, I was like, thank you, Jungo, thank you. um this is why, in my case, personally, I'm grateful for the friendship. So when Yuta said that he was going to be the number one supporter of Jungkook's, Jungkook's solo, I was like, that's my bias. That's my bias giving back. Um, and I'm like so happy that he's able to show this and share this with us. Like, it doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be like, oh, let's ship them together. No, it's about friendship. It's but I think that the way he said it more like, I'm supporting a friend instead of I'm supporting a member of my team. So I love it. Miyavi is fine. Jungle to be is the guy I forget about. I only watch NCT and Beast, not so much their content, but little I seen of him, he seems nice. Yuta is like Akira's cat's Tommy, yes. Is Jungle your bias wrecker in NCT? I don't know. I think that because the thing about Jungkook that I noticed now that Taeyeon is not here, there's some members missing, and probably we're going to see a lot of a lot of absences. I noticed how useful Jungkook is, how great of a dancer he is, how great of a singer he is, and he always, he's consistent. He's so talented. um and I don't know, I just value him because of the place the that he gave my bias. And I'm so proud of him, because I'm sure it must have been intimidating to get Yuta to trust him, because Yuta does seem like someone that probably, I remember initially he didn't, I would even see his body language. I don't know if he liked Jungkook. I think that there were moments where it seemed like he was uncomfortable. But then he kind of, I think that he maybe put Jungkook to a test to see, maybe because Yuta is like, don't act that cute next to me. Like, I don't like those things. But I think that just like everything that Jungkook does, he's very consistent. And maybe this is I don't know if Jungkook has like a Capricorn placement somewhere, but I think that one thing that you can get out of Jungkook is loyalty. And he was so patient and he was so consistent, and now that he's having his solo, um I'm like, I'm going to support you because I know because me as a as a Yuta bias, I notice people around him. I notice people around him. Um, and this is why I seen the consistency of Jungkook's presence in Utah. And I seen Utah getting less and less defensive about Jungkook wanting to be close to him. Um, and I was like, yeah, you got it, Jungkook, you got it. Um, so I love him for this because it must have been tough. Um, I know Jungkook has great relationships with all the NCT members, but it's a, how can I say this? NCT, it seems like it's a place where there's a lot of like air placements. There's a lot of air placements. Yes, a lot of Aquarius, Gemini energy. And when you are a water sign or someone that has water placements, I know it for myself that it's so awkward to try to be deep or try to be, um, um, emotional about something, and the rest laughing in your face. Be like, what are you talking about? And then just laughing. I know that. I know that because I had been part of groups that have a strong air element, like Libras, Geminis, Aquarius, they just don't get it. So I think that when I started to see, and also there in this NCT 1 to 7, there's no one that is like a nurse sign, unless someone that puts a bit of a structure, someone that at least can be just seated there and just be serious. No, they would all laugh at Jungkook. And I noticed that Yuta is like, you are a bit weird, but I kind of get where you come from. So this is why I think that Yuta and Jungkook, they have the potential to be good friends, to just support each other emotionality. And I think that there was something that Jungkook said, that when he is with Yuta, he can be himself and he doesn't feel like he's going to be judged. And I see it, and I'm like, he found his person, in that group. mm, I don't know. Yes, I did see Hechan's teaser. Yes, Jungkook has Capricorn Venus. Yeah. Didn't I rank Jungkook high for you? Maybe, yes, you did. I believe you did, Fluffy. Yes, a lot of Aqua and Gemini. Mm. Yeah, maybe if there's Libra placements, they can be nicer, like somehow like smiling, like, yeah, like I don't get what you're saying, but I'm being polite. But Gemini and Aquariuses, they always laugh at you when you want to go deep, or when there's like a nervous nature and you really want to say something from your heart, they will laugh at you. Not Yuta wanting to be emo, gotta be persistent with the guy. Yeah. So that's what I noticed. And I was like, okay. And also, what I noticed, this is sometimes I wonder if Yuta is a moon in Sagittarius. Sometimes I wonder that. Because, yeah, he is a Scorpio, definitely. But that Mars in Sagittarius also gets, when he gets on the side of the air signs, he also can be goofy and just detached and just everything is a joke. Oh yeah, that you said is funny. Ha 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 ha. But you have the one that has like a lot of water placements trying to express themselves, how they feel, and you're just laughing. And Yuta has that, Yuta has that part where also he used to, everything was a joke. Oh, I'm joking. Oh, I'm joking. Oh, we thought that you were crying. No, 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 I'm joking. There's moments where I'm like, you do have a strong Sagittarius placement. Not only the Mars, I believe he could be a Moon in Sagittarius as well. I don't know if that's possible, Fluffy, with his birthday. I don't know, is it possible that it changes from, that day in October? Is it possible that it could change to Sagittarius depending the hour? mm, yeah, yeah. I can see Scorpionic in him because he's a sun Scorpio, so it shows his intense nature. But then also there's this part where he's like, I'm going to make a joke out of this. I'm trying to evade or run away from things getting too deep or serious. So this is why I think that he needed someone so insistent like Jungkook to somehow grab him and be like, let's be friends. I want to be your friend. I like you. Because Yuta was escaping all the time. That's so annoying when someone is at the limit like that. I think Hyunjin is saying, where you can tell his moon sign because we don't know his birth time. Oh, wow, yeah. But Hyunjin does feel his Pisces aura. He is a Pisces, definitely. He is a Pisces. I feel it in him. He's a dreamer, he's like, everything is cool, no problems. Yeah. I doubt that's the thing that about his moon sign probably being a Virgo. I doubt it. Because usually, I don't know Hyunjin. I haven't observed, his interviews nor anything. But, usually moon in Virgo, it makes the person a bit cynic. And I don't see it for Hyunjin. I think that he's very like, he's hardworking and everything. But at the same time, I think that he's just very sweet. I don't see that. Could it be that he could potentially have another moon sign Fluffy also for Hyunjin? Yeah, he's very pleasant. He's a very pleasant person. Like I don't see him overthinking and just being like, he's at the limit between Virgo and Libra. Yeah, and he's so beautiful. So beautiful. Libra has to be in there because he's so beautiful. Okay, guys, I'm going to start because the other day we were sorry guys, if you see that this part of my sweater is black, this is me in during Virgo seasons. I'm sorry that probably no one is paying attention to this, but I have to say it. This part is stained with black. Is because I was washing some parts of the machine that my dad uses to build things, the cement and the sand and the bricks and everything, and I got stained here just before I started. So I'm sorry if you guys can see that I have this on my on the sweater, but yeah. I will wash it. It's not like this, but yeah, I got stained and I didn't have the time to change it. So yeah. I saw it and I'm like, oh no. But well, I apologize. And also I'm left-handed, so every time I move, you're going to see it. And I think that it's not dirt. It could be a kind of oil. Maybe it's the oil of the engine that it got on my shirt. Oh well. I'm sorry. I noticed those things and I cannot let it go. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. I do notice it, and it's getting on my nerves. Okay. I'm going to pull cards first for my bias, for Yuta, and his dynamic with Miyavi. Let's see, Yuta and Miyavi. Oh, wow. Sorry, guys, my throat. What is going on in here? I thought that I was going to get very happy cards. What is going on between Yuta and Miyavi? These cards are not happy. Like, oh my god. Okay. From Yuta's perspective, we have the King of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. From Miyavi's perspective, we have the Nine of Wands. And we have the Ten of Swords. And then their connection, we have the Three of Swords. And then we have the Nine of Swords again. It says anxiety. Anxiety. So what is going on in here? I think that it's not about something specific that they did. It's more their minds, because we do have a lot of swords. And probably there's like miscommunication, or there's changes, or there was something that was changed, or there was something that wasn't said, that it wasn't planned, and the other person got offended, like, I don't work like this. I think that definitely is not, it's not in a place of like, oh, this is personal, you hurt my feelings. No, this is miscommunication, I believe. It could be a bit of ego also, a bit of ego. I mean, I would say that I don't feel like they flow together. There's a lot of anxiety also in here. So I don't know if one of them felt like they weren't prepared, to work with someone like the other person. There's like a mismatch of maybe styles, experience, and how they do things. Also, and this I got right away when I saw this. There's a lot of things unsaid, and I think that this sort of reminds me of when sometimes you have these people that they talk about Japanese culture, and when they say, oh, sometimes we Japanese people, we don't say what we really think of the person. Like we just try to be polite, we don't want to start any arguments, so we are like, just like, oh, well, yes, this was great. Yes, I had the time of my life. Yeah, I had the best. But inside, it felt like each one of them, I would say from the part of Yuta, I would see it more from Miyavi's part. I wonder what is going on with Miyavi. Because from Yuta's part, he was very much in control. So I'm amazed because I'm shook actually, because that Miyavi is older than Yuta and he has been doing this longer. So I wonder what was the cause of this anxious behavior. From Yuta's part, we have the King of Swords and the Four of Swords. So from Yuta's part, I think that he was always in control. He stated what he wanted to say. He was very straightforward. He just communicated right what he wanted, what he was going to do, what his part was. He also has this very dominating attitude of him. Maybe I know that Yuta probably is going to have another solo. So there's something about him owning, his soloist era. And probably, could it be that he has more followers than Miyavi? Could it be that it is about this? It's about the internet, or is about people's reaction? Because I think that from Yuta's perspective, he was very, with the Four of Swords, there's something about him going to bed literally and just being satisfied with his part and with what he did. He's like, I done great. Or, I never felt unsure about my role or what I had to do. Or what I'm going to do next. There's something about, I don't know if Yuta has a sort of support or a way of working that is very well organized and is very well guided. So he's like, yeah, I know. And also I think that Yuta is very straightforward. He if he likes something, he will tell you to your face, and if he doesn't like something, he will also tell you. And I don't think that it's about communication, because the Four of Swords is like, I did my part and I'm happy. I feel like a King of Swords. I feel he feels very secure in himself. He feels like he has maybe he feels like he has a strong audience, or he has like I'm doing well with my numbers, or I'm doing well with the repercussion of my work. He feels like he's really like a leader, in his own solo experience. So I think that there's something about his mind having a lot of clarity and just being very straightforward. I mean, like, I am quiet in my mind. I did what I had to do, and I'm just a professional. And in the case of Miyavi, it's different, because I have the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So Miyavi was super nervous. Nervous, overwhelmed. Maybe, I don't know, does he have like a lot of work? Does he travel a lot? Does he have a lot of things to do, that he is just, very overwhelmed by all of this? But I don't think he enjoyed this. I think that there was something about him being like, I cannot wait for this to finish, because I'm mentally, like, I'm maybe he feels like he's running out of ideas. I don't know. I feel him very, his energy. I think that I have the card of anxious here, and anxiety, actually, of anxiety. And I think that it sort of reflects more on Miyavi's side, him feeling a bit anxious about this collaboration. Um, I don't know. I think that are they going to do this again? Because it doesn't feel like I mean, from Yuta's part, I see him very, very chill. He's like, he's like, I did what I had to do, I showed up, I presented myself, and but I think that there's something that maybe one of them is like, this didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I wanted this to, I don't know, be more beneficial for my part maybe. And the Three of Swords is like, I feel a bit disappointed. Um, but yeah, anxiety as well. So yeah, there could be a bit of, I think that there's one of the parts that overthinks a lot, like overthinks, like, I don't know if they were trying to have like, this was like an opportunity that they had to, why do I feel like it's about the numbers and not it's not about money, because I don't see stability here. So it's not about money, it's maybe about people's perception, the internet, numbers, followers, I don't know. I think that his energy felt from Miyami's part is like, I don't know if the guy is very busy, if he has a lot of projects, or maybe he's mentally, he's like fed up, and he's like, I did this, but at the end it caused me more anxiety. And from Yuta's part, I see him more like, I'm in my solo era. I'm here to command the stage. I'm here. This is my moment, and nobody's moving me from here. But yeah, definitely they don't tell each other things. There's something about them, probably being like, oh, I love you. Oh, you're amazing. But for me inside, it doesn't feel genuine. So yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised. I didn't, because they spoke very positively of themselves. So I'm like very, shocked to see these cards. But maybe there's some issues, there's something personal going on that we don't know. But yeah, I see one part more prepared than the other. Yeah, there could be something. I think that he's a bit like, oh, I have done a lot, or I have been trying a lot. It seems with the Nine of Wands, this is a person that probably he's very active, or he's doing a lot of things at once. He's sustaining his career by himself. So maybe this is why he could be a bit burnout. I think that in this case, Yuta's energy feels much more in control, like his all his methods, or maybe his schedules, or maybe the way he wants to present his solo work is somehow arranged differently. Maybe it has to do with the SEM. Sometimes we bash on SM and we don't like SM entertainment. I know that it's not SM, the one that is another branch of SM that somehow manages Yuta in Japan. But I think that Yuta has like a better communication with his team, and probably he has a team behind him. So he's much more, he has the freedom to focus on himself and what he's going to do, on how he's, and there's something about, I don't know why, but I think that seeing Yuta as the King of Swords in comparison to Miyavi is letting me know that I know that Miyavi is more experienced, I know that Miyavi is older, but there's something about Yuta being much more knowledgeable about maybe the media and how the media works and what the fans want, and maybe because being part of NCT, he does have a lot of fans, or a lot of, I see numbers. I see that, if he has like, could it be like if he goes to, for example, when I go live, I go live here and I have 10 people here, watching me. But if another, another tarot reader goes live, they probably have like 3,000 people, right? Not 3,000, 300, viewers watching. And I only have 10. So there's something about the numbers. They check a lot the numbers. And I think that maybe, even though Miyavi is I think that Miyavi does everything himself. Like he doesn't have that strong support. This is why the Nine of Wands comes out and the Ten of Swords, and it's like, I'm sort of sustaining my career, and I'm tired of always, it's not that glamorous. It's not that cute, the man is tired. And I don't think that he's tired physically. I think that he loves his job. But maybe he has to, be dependent on a lot of things that it just makes him feel anxious. I feel anxiety, definitely. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was hoping to get better cards. It was my idea, and I don't know. I don't think that it was that positive. But well, I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to give you good news. This reading was for myself. No one asked. No one here asked for that reading. Only myself. But I love them both. Okay, let's start with the dynamics of the groups. I'm going to start with heart to hearts, hearts to hearts. Let's see their dynamic. I'm going to pull 3 cards for their dynamic. And then one of these cards is going to be for an advice for them to improve it. Whatever their what they need to improve. Okay. For heart to hearts, we have 9 of Swords, we have 10 of Cups, and we have 10 of Wands. A lot of 10s today. 10, 9, 10, 9. And then we have, from the advice as what they will have to improve, we have the Emperor. And the key word here is says take up space. Take up space. For heart to heart dynamic. I think that they do have a great... How many members are there? Are they 10? 10 members or 9? Because I see a lot of 10. So I'm like, is this number important? Definitely they are, this is a group that also is very anxious. And probably in Virgo season, I'm going to name anxiety and being anxious a lot. Or nervousness. Because I feel it in me. I feel it like, this is not just the regular person going through this Virgo season and the eclipse season. I think that the groups also feel nervous in my experience of trying to see what they're up to. These girls feel they probably have insomnia, they don't sleep very well, they overthink every step that they do. They probably have a lot to learn. They have a lot. I think that they are being coached, or they do have a lot of classes, or they do have a lot of content. They are studying a lot, so their mind and their body is a bit overwhelmed with everything that they have to do. 8 members? Okay. And also the 9 of Swords is, for me, is giving me this sense of like, I don't think I'm good enough, or I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up, or I'm going to make a mistake and I will feel forever guilty. Not letting go of small details or things that maybe you were given a feedback like, oh, you didn't do this correctly, and maybe that person holding on very tight to this and not being able to move on or not being able to advance because they are still thinking about this, about what I did wrong. I think that their dynamic, with the 10 of Cups in here, there could be, a lot of love and emotional support among the members. I could see them, taking care of the other, taking care of each other, feeling like a family. I think that they have the potential to. I think that whatever burden they are carrying at the moment for trying to be the best, or just trying to be better, or trying to somehow being appreciated more, they share this burden. I would say, the Ten of Cups is giving me, like, it feels like this is felt by the entire group. This is not someone that feels a certain way. This is a group. Literally, the group feels the same. And they have, I think that this is like a plus. This is like something positive, that they can rely on each other when times like this come. When times or when activities or responsibilities feel like a burden, there's the potential of this group, being there for each other, or trying to soften the burden, trying to be like, okay, let me carry a bit of your burden today. This is empathy. There's something about this group being very sensitive, being very empathic towards each other. And I think that this is essential for a group. This is essential for a group. I don't want to say, like, because usually, the Ten of Cups is, emotional, emotional stability, and also happiness, happiness with others, the happiness that is shared. I don't want to bring it like too cliche to be like, oh, they are family. No, it's not like they're family, but they could be a safe emotional space for each other. There's something about them embracing each other's insecurities, each other's worries, each other's, burdens, each other's struggles. I mean, like, let's do this together. We are here, all of us. So if you are struggling, we are all struggling. Like, so they are like a mirror to each other. And I think that this is great. Actually, I think that this Ten of Cups is like, this is why they have the potential to remain together, because somehow they are very sensitive to the other members' energy. And they do have certain members that are more anxious than the others, and then you have the ones that pretend that they are tougher, and they are like, no, 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 I got this, I'm going to take responsibility for this, or I'm going to do extra hours of this, or I'm going to train extra hard for this, for the group. And the Ten of Cups in the middle is like, no, we are all in this together. So we are all going to share the burden, or we are all going to share and try to solve this, because we are together in this. We are a group. They definitely are a group. I think that this is one of the healthiest dynamics that I see. But yeah, it definitely shows that the girls are worried, that they are starting, so they have a lot of insecurities, and there's a lot of things to learn, and to somehow to have to bear, they have to bear with a lot of things and responsibilities, because they are just starting. So yeah, they have to get used to the idea that, yeah, it's going to get challenging. But the advice for them, for them to have a better, to improve this dynamic, is the Emperor. It says take up space. So somehow the card of the Emperor is like, guys, be more brave. Dare to take up space. Be more prideful. Be more assertive. Like, try to dominate the scene. Try to, be this strong force. Maybe the concept that they have right now is that they are very sweet, they are very like sensitive. But the Emperor is like, you are so strong when you're together. So you have to make it somehow. You have to use this dynamic to be able to have more presence, or take up more space when you are at award shows, or when you are, make people notice you, make people, be, impressed with you. It's like, get more, get more passionate, get more, just get more prideful even, you go and take up space. Don't apologize so much for being, successful, or being pretty, or being beautiful, or being talented. You guys deserve it. You know, the emperor is like, come on, dominate the scene. Dominate the scene. You know, be more assertive. Like, you guys can do it. You guys can do it. You can go farther. It's just that they're to, you know, to be much more of trying to dominate the scene or be much more like leaders, you know, try to stand out of the other groups. So yeah, be more brave. Be more brave. This is the key. Yeah. They probably have, yeah, some key members that are the ones that could pull this off. Okay. I'm going to continue with this group. Ahof. I have no idea how this is pronounced. So please, if someone knows, can you help me? Thank you. Ahof. Or Ahof. Let's see their dynamic as a group. And what they have to improve. Really good. Really good, actually. I wouldn't say like there's something to prove, actually. Okay, it's Ahof. Ahof. Or Ahof. Ahof. Sorry, guys. I'm learning. Thank you for telling me. Thank you. Ahof. Because hope is like hope. Ahof. Okay. Thank you. Hello. Thank you, Yellowfish and Fluffy. Thank you, guys. Yeah, because I felt silly like saying it. I'm like, what am I saying? But thank you for explaining it to me. Thank you. Okay, for them, 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups. 3 of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. A lot of work. A lot of work. And the 7 of Pentacles. Achievement. Achievement. Their group dynamic is perfect, actually. I cannot. They even have like this, like they have an agreement also that probably if they have certain members that do stand out in certain areas, like a main dancer or the vocalist or the rapper, they give those people, there's an agreement, like, you know, we do give I don't know, it's not about talent, but it's like we do give these people, the most popular maybe, we give them the space. There's an agreement between among all of us about position. Also, there's a lot of strategy. Everything that they do is perfectly assembled, I would say. I have the Queen of Wands in here, so I wonder if they have like a female CEO or there's like, you know, a mentor or someone that is a woman. But if this is not a literally like a female boss, it could be one of the members or maybe the leader that is very, you know, it has this feminine view, but a strong and possessive view, not sensitive and soft. But there's a bit of the feminine view of like, you know, I can see what the group needs, or I can see what makes us more attractive. A lot of talent also in this group. But the first thing that comes to my mind is agreement, is teamwork. They are like the definition of teamwork. Everything is in order. There's nothing that is like unbalanced in here. They give, the people that have, the ability to steal more, like, more eyes or views, they're like, yeah, you go and do it. You are the favorite one, or everyone wants to see you, you go and shine. We will let you. We will let you. We will give you the space. Just go. There's no jealousy. There's no battle of egos. Everything is so organized. They agree on every single detail because this was very well prepared. I think that this group is very practical. First of all, this is not something that has to do with luck or feelings or perceptions. This is teamwork. This is work. This is a very organized process. There's something like this group was built to function like this, and there's like these very specific roles that they will not get interrupted by someone acting clumsy and be like, oh, I didn't know I had to do this. No, in here everything has a purpose, and everyone has a role, so you don't bump into each other. Somehow it's like this, but they are also very talented. The Nine of Pentacles also is like, there's a lot of talent. Oh, a lot of talent. What is going on with this group? Why haven't I heard more of this group? Because I think that they are doing well. And what do they have to improve for this dynamic? The Seven of Pentacles is says achievement. So yeah, maybe this Seven of Pentacles somehow represents a physical achievement, like literally winning an award. Maybe they are somehow waiting, or somehow maybe the company is like, okay guys, in order for us to see if you guys are doing a good job together, is that you have to achieve this. You have to get this award, or you have to get this recognition, or you have to get this. I think that is like a prize, an award, a recognition. I don't think that is a ranking. But achievements is more like, you winning, and maybe it's at a music show, an award or something like this, but they won that. They won the trophies, I would say. And the group knows this. The group is like, yeah, we are working towards this. We are working. We are aiming towards this. And I think that this is why I'm feeling that this group is so realistic about, so practical about their dynamic. In here it's not about like, oh, we are best friends, we are a family. No, in here it's like, in order for us to keep being a group and do our best and do a good job, we have to win. We have to get more recognition, we have to get more views, we have to get people to like us, like achievements. You have to have the materialization of an award or recognition. Like, without this, we are nothing. Without this, we work for free. So they are aiming towards earning more achievements and recognition. But they are so well managed. They are so well managed. Like, I'm so surprised by them. And I'm going to go and check out their music because I'm surprised, like how organized and how willing they are to cooperate. This is why I say the word realistic. They know that this is a job. They know that, especially this first maybe part of their history or of their career. They know that this is not about having like a good luck or a good year. This is about work. This is about work. They debuted 2 months ago, but came from a small company. Maybe that's why. Yes. Yes. No, thank you guys for, recommending. I know that you guys have been recommending them. I know this. I seen the comments. I see it. But yeah, I don't always read for the same people. So, bear with me when I leave a bit of months a month, start reading is because I want to wait a few times. But I'm loving this. I love this. Hey, Samara. No, I'm not excited. I'm not excited about the clips. No. I'm annoyed, and I'm a bit like annoyed. I don't know. I don't know what I want, but I know that that this is not it. I'm just praying that the internet works today. That and these are, my very humble desires and wishes. Okay. I'm going to continue with I-dle, their group dynamic. What they have to improve. Yeah. Okay, for I-dle, we have Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, and we have the Fool. And then from this other deck, as an advice about what they have to improve about this dynamic, we have the Page of Swords that says Curiosity. Curiosity. I think that, I would say their dynamic is very stable. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles. So, also the Knight of Pentacles is like, it's this very stable dynamic that they have with each other, but also it can be very slow, but the Ten of Pentacles in the middle is giving me, success and recognition. And I think that, there's something about the way they have been doing things that even if it takes a while, or even if it took longer than others, maybe to achieve something together, or to, get on the same place as a group, they achieve it at the end. Pentacles here. It's giving me a stability, it's giving me success, or even legacy. I think that it's just that, the Knight of Pentacles is also telling me that, the group dynamic, it is about being consistent, working with, I-dle, working towards achieving this stability. I think that the members are also, probably there's a lot of air signs, or if is not air signs, there's a lot of influences of air signs. Not air signs, earth signs, like Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. There's a lot of, there's this very, it's all about consistency. It's just that maybe, the Knight of Pentacles is a bit slow, than the others. So I see them, working on themselves and working towards the group and working towards building something together, a name for themselves or success. And this took longer probably than the other groups. But I think that there's something just very, very real about them. Maybe the groups are also very stubborn people. Like they are like, we are not going to let, I think that they are like, let us do what we do at our own pace. The Knight of Pentacles is like, I will be successful at the end. But probably it takes a while, and even it takes a while for them to maybe get on the same space or get to an agreement. There's a lot of work in here the outcome is successful. I think that they as a group, they had achieved a lot. I do have the Ten of Pentacles here, so I'm like, it's just that maybe people compare them to other groups, and they are like, oh, but the other group in that era, or in that time, or in that place, they achieved more, or they did more, or they and the style of this group of I-dle is steady but slow. But I know where I'm going, or I know what I'm doing. So the dynamic of I-dle is something that in the eyes of others, it can be like, oh my, it's taking forever for them to, build this dynamic, or build this, like it's taking them forever, but it's because they are like this. But they will not give up. They will not stop. They have an objective. This is not a group that, is wandering around, and they're like, oh, we don't know what we are, or we don't know, no. They are very practical about their matters. The groups matter. And the Ten of Pentacles also is very, is very stable. This could be the company as well. The company probably giving them, more stability, or giving them more opportunities, or giving them more resources. I can sort of see it like finally, someone is opening their bank account or something, and they're like, okay, girls, here, you want to, because I think that they, there's something about the girls also being, very like, I want to say this, like, because the Knight of Pentacles is giving me like, we are very patient, and we are also very like modest. We hang in there. When you told us that you didn't have the money, or when you told us that we couldn't do this for us, we stood, we stayed in there. So these are very loyal people. But it's giving me like the girls work with what they have. This is why I'm getting a lot of earth kind of energy, very practical, but also very hardworking. It's like, we are advancing anyways. Maybe this is not as fancy as the other group, but we at least have it. And then I see, now I see money. I see someone open their wallets, or something like this. Something has been unleashed for the girls. Maybe I see a new beginning also for them, with the Fool. With the Fool. I think that probably the girls are reinventing themselves, or they are rebranding themselves. There's something about a new beginning is going to come in their dynamic, because they are like, okay, now that we have the resources, or now that you're going to give us the stability or the money that we need, we are going to start, anew. We're going to start all over. We're going to try to do more original things, release something new, do something that we haven't done before, a lot of creativity. And I think that probably this is a group that, this is why, when I see the Knight of Pentacles, I'm like, the girls sustain a lot. They were very patient. They were probably with the company. They were very patient. They probably, stood up, or they sustain, they bear with a lot. They were very patient. It's like they were like, okay, it is what it is. This is the reality. This is what we have now, and we have to continue working with this that we have. This is why I'm like, these are very, hardworking people. It's just that, maybe people are like, oh, it takes them forever to do this. Yeah. Yeah, because there were no resources back then. But one thing I can say is that I feel their stubbornness, their consistency about moving on and advancing. And I can see a new, a change in their dynamic as well, because, again, Page of Swords, curiosity, this is the advice for what they have to do if they want to improve, their dynamic. They have to get into this energy. Like stagnant, no more. You have to get into the originality, into the unknown places. You have to get, very new ideas. You have to get very creative, original, unexpected. Just get connected with the new beginnings, because I think that the girls is like, okay, we pushed and we pushed and we survived and we remain in there, while not having much. But now it's different. Now you guys have it. You have a green light. So now, a new era is coming for them. But this era cannot be the same as what you have been doing. It has to be different. And the Page of Swords that says curiosity is like, go beyond your limits. Go beyond, what you know. Just, be curious, study, be different, differentiate yourself from the others. Don't do what you have been doing, don't do what the others have been doing. Just create something different. And probably this Page of Swords could represent one of the girls that is the one that is in charge of creating something, the lyrics or the songs or the music or the the choreography even. It's like there was a lot of earth, energy of like, okay, we sustain, but you need flexibility and you need new ideas. And I think that this curiosity, this Page of Swords is like, guys, go into the unknown, get better and new ideas. This is the key for their dynamic, to be different, to start all over. Do not repeat the same concepts. Just do something different. So you're most likely, yes, probably. Because the Page of Swords is giving me, someone very creative. Yes, someone very intellectual. Yeah. But the thing, what I love about this is that, Soyeon can experiment and go and try to get, and be inspired, while the others, worthy, the other members, and are very hardworking. So they stay in there. They're not going to leave, nor try to do something funny. No, they're very hardworking girls. Okay, I'm going to continue with EXO. The Seven of Swords for EXO, it always appears, always. Okay, for EXO, Seven of Swords, Four of Wands, Page of Pentacles. And we have the Strength card, that the keyword says compassion. This is the keyword for, the advice for them if they want to improve their their dynamic, their group dynamic. They have to be compassionate with each other, because there's something, and this I said when every time I read for EXO or EXO members, definitely I do feel some strong personalities. Not all of them, but there's some people that are very prideful. This is why we have the Strength card. It's feeling very reactive, a bit exaggerated, a bit dramatic, but I think that the keyword in here, it's like, don't go all out. Like, just be compassionate, contain yourself. Like, don't get that, that nervous. Don't get that, I don't want to say like, whatever these people are feeling is like, is out of place. It's not, but somehow, for the group's dynamic to work and for them to have, a better environment together or a better relationship, they have to be compassionate with the others. Just like remain drama free. Don't go all out. Just relax, breathe. The group needs you to be compassionate. So tame the beast inside of you. Don't get all worked up. Just relax, breathe. There's someone with anger issues. Like, I'm like, that is like, no, this is not how things go. And it's like, and then the whole group is like, but well. Yeah, the group's dynamic, starting with the Seven of Swords, definitely this is like, probably, their dynamic is heavily influenced by people that come and go. This could be, there's members, not all the members that are not in SM, but there's this feeling of like you coming and going. You are here now, but then you disappear. And you said that you would be here, but then you didn't appear. So it feels like, oh, I show up and then I disappear, or I say that I will be there, but then I'm not there. So yeah, it feels unstable. Definitely. I think that there's a bit of, that maybe the dynamic is not the same because there's people missing, or there's people, and this is not about the enlistment, this is not about the military, this is about an attitude of avoidance. It's like, I don't want to go there, or I don't want to be at that place. So even though I said I would, then I don't show up. So it's like a lack of consistency. It's like, oh, I cannot make it because, I have to travel over here. So yeah, I'm sorry. I know I said that I will show up, but, there's something about maybe there were cancellations, or there were, postponements of maybe EXO projects, because there are some people that at the last minute, they are like, I'm not going, or I'm not doing this. Sorry, I have other things to do. So, and with the Seven of Swords, this could be like, this is not personal. This is not about these people doing this to annoy the other members. No, but it's like, this is, maybe they want to get back at other people. Maybe they want to get back at the company. So there's something about them escaping and evading certain things on purpose, because things are not okay. So instead of facing it, I prefer to disappear, or I prefer to not confront you guys, and I just make up excuse and I don't go. But at the end we have the Four of Wands. So there's, like I said when I read for EXO a couple of weeks ago, in the future, not in the future, in the present, there's unity. There's a reunion, there's them coming back to work together. I see happiness, I see a lot of laughter, I see a lot of, enjoyment. I see them, being together again, all of them, and celebrating. And I see them working. I see them working on something, definitely. But also the Page of Pentacles is giving me that it's going, like I said, it's going to take a while, because the Page of Pentacles is giving me like the beginning of something. But they definitely have their eyes on work. They are like, okay, we will do this. We will have this. We will create this song, or we will create this content for the fans, or we will reunite for the fans. Does EXO have like an anniversary or something like this coming? Because with the Four of Wands, it's giving me like an event that it has to do with celebrating the group. But I can also see, them starting to work on a new project together. But I think that it all started with a bit of, it wasn't easy to get them all in the same place. There was a lot of absences. There was a lot of like not agreeing, not being on the same page, saying yes, I will be there, and then I will not show up. A lot of inconsistency. And this could be people that artists that are in SM, or artists of EXO that are not in SM. It could be, like them not, getting, I think that this is the reason why you haven't had, EXO activities, because there was a lot of disagreements, like, okay, yeah, no, I cannot do it, or one says yes and the other one says no. So, and I think that this is like, it's not to blame, because I know that people are like, oh, I think that I know who he is, oh, I think that, and who is this, and this is not relevant who it is. What I do see is that it affected the group's dynamic, this sort of, yeah, I'm here but then I'm not here, or I said that I would do this but then I will not do this. I think that instead of pointing fingers at who is part of their dynamic, these are people that they are different people, they have different mentalities, they have different beliefs or different ways of working now, that is sometimes it's hard for them to get on the same page or to get into an agreement, and they must have the reasons, and the reasons are valid. But in the end, we have the 4 of Wands. So somehow, when it comes to them thinking about the group or thinking about, what is important for the fans, that's the one reason that they are like, okay, in this we agree. In this we are on the same page. Yeah, we want to celebrate, or we want to give this to the fans as a gift, or we want to give them this experience, because in that moment when it is about maybe commemorating a moment or an experience or an anniversary, they are like, yeah, I kind of want to participate in this, I will be there. But maybe when it comes to other activities, they are like, oh, I don't want to do this. But the only thing that motivates this group to all appear together is when they have to do something for the fans, or when they feel like the fans are calling them, or they are like, oh, we missed you guys, oh, it's been a while since we've seen you together, so can you please have a comeback. They are like, okay, the fans are calling for us, so I guess we have to assemble and get back together. It feels also very practical. I think that there's a feeling of like, oh, this is fun, but I don't see feelings. So yeah, but the strength card, yeah, compassion. See, there's they have a lot of like I said, there's strong personalities. Maybe there's disagreements. Maybe there's people that get a bit in their feelings, or they get angry, or they get agitated. But with the strength card, it's like you guys have to stay strong, in order for you to have a better communication, or have a better dynamic as a group. You have to be compassionate to your partner, to your teammate. You have to be compassionate, you have to be understanding. Don't react from the ego, don't react from like, oh, I would have done this differently. It's not about you. Think about the group. Think about how that team member is important for the group. It's not about the I. It's not about the, oh, I would have done things differently. Like, no, relax. Be compassionate. Be understanding. Be patient with the other. Be patient with the other person, with your team member, that maybe, that person has changed. Maybe their beliefs are not the same. Their mentality has changed. Their priorities have changed. Them as a person, they have changed, yes. But, embrace the change. If your teammate has changed, has matured, it's part of life. So instead of criticizing, be compassionate. And this will make that the dynamic between them is going to be more harmonized and more successful. But, even if you don't understand the other person, just try. Try, for the sake of the group, try to put yourself in the shoes of that person and be compassionate. Because there's someone that is very reactive. There's someone that likes to, put the blame on, oh, we didn't have this because this person didn't do what they had to do, and I think that when you have people like this, things can escalate, into an argument very fast. So this person needs to calm down. No, I feel like it's someone else. Fluffy. It's giving me fire sign. Wait, I want to change my mic. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to continue with BTS. Let's see the group dynamic. Beautiful. And how can they improve it if they need to? But BTS, they honestly, like, this is not to be like, you know, because it's like the cards are so positive and so loving that this is not me being like, you know, having a preference for BTS, even though I love them. But the cards are also very, very obvious. We have the 8 of Wands, we have the 2 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Wands. So a lot of passion. They are super passionate for their group dynamic. And then as an advice, in the case that, you know, they need to improve their dynamic as a group, we have the 9 of Swords, anxiety. So yeah, I think that, yeah, they're definitely like biting their nails and their lips, because they're very anxious about probably, yeah, you know, communicating something to the fans, giving something to the fans, you know. This is a group that they love each other very much. Honestly, like, they love each other very much. Um, uh, it feels so energized. It feels so energized. Like, they really love each other. Their group dynamic is definitely is like a brotherhood, you know. And I think that there's a lot of respect. There's a lot of like correspondency, like, I see you, I see my member, or I see them, even if they are different to me. I see them and I respect them and I value them, and I thank them that they are part of my life, or that they are part of this that we're building together. It's just that, you know, I think that there's, you know, with the ones, I feel like BTS is very protective of the group. This is why, you know, um, um, when we think about, you know, the name of BTS, you know, the bulletproof guys, you know, and we think about the fandom army, you know, there's a sense of protectiveness, you know, and I think that for them as a group dynamic, there's something about them being like, things have always been very fast and chaotic for us. But the one thing that remains very faithfully and standing is the love. Is the love. Is the connection. We're always connecting. We are always connecting. We're always working on our connection. I wonder if they have also like group therapy, because it feels very therapeutic. Honestly, it feels like something that they had, without maybe telling anyone. They had taken very active care for their dynamic. You know, it's much more than, oh, let's learn a choreography together or let's work together. It's like, also, let's go to therapy together, let's, you know, protect this bond, let's make it last, let's make it, let's, you know, also they also feel very energized when they are together. It seems like, everything starts to move, and maybe when they are apart, they feel like energetically their energy lowers. But when they are together, they're like, yes, we have to do this and do this and do this. And honestly, like, the more they are together, the more celebrated they are. So this is why for them it's important to have a healthy relationship with each other, because they are like, when we are together, people are happy. When we are together, people get happy, people celebrate. So we want to give them this, the ability to celebrate, the ability to, embrace um, union, being together, togetherness, compassion, being, humanitarian. I think that they are like, um, they have also this mentality that is like, because with the Eight of Wands is giving me like, people talking, rumors, and just people, maybe making up lies, or just, being very much wanting to go and affect their dynamic with news, with, oh, they said this of you, and they said the other one did this, and they are like, I don't care. I don't care what the outside says or what the media says. I know my member. I know my team member. I know them. Because my relationship with them is in the now. If I want to know something about how they feel, I go and ask them. I don't, speculate. I don't speculate. And there's a lot of fun. But yeah, I see it like a celebration. I think that they are more lucky, or they are more fortunate when they are together. It seems like life brought them together, like some kind of, gift or fortune, that, their success, it has to do with all of them being together. That's the happiness. That's the key of the question. Then remaining as a group. They then remaining as a group. That's where, the happy times, the happy moments, everything flows when they are together. And people are happy. The Four of Wands, it's not just about them being like, oh, we are happy because we are successful. No, people, in consequence, by watching them being together, they are happy as well. They celebrate as well. um and this as an advice for if they want to improve at some point, their dynamic as a group. We have the Nine of Swords, that is his anxiety. So I think that this also is very, is a great advice, because even though the cards that I have here are all very positive and are all very much about them, recognizing each other and being very active in each other's life, and just, being very passionate for advancing, and just, showing themselves and being honest, and being just this, like, they are like I don't know, it seems like people see them and they are like, this is a group. This is what a group looks like, or what a healthy group dynamic looks like. But the Nine of Swords is like, even though you have like the happy times and the happy dynamics and everything, at some point, if things get tough, or if there's a lot of pressure for you to having to sustain this happy, this happy mentality, happy family, happy view, or you lose a bit of motivation, you need to pay attention to the anxiety. You have to pay attention to the members that somehow, and also, give room to the members expressing their own concerns, their own worries, their own insecurities, their own anxieties. Because, also, so this, when I see these cards, I'm like, this is like, the person that, or the couple that has like this perfect marriage, and everything seems like it's so perfect, it's so authentic. But also, it's a lot of work to have this kind of, authentic relationship, and there could be moments of anxiety. And I think that the part of them remaining authentic in their love for each other is that when things get tough, when things get challenging, or when they have, I don't know, personal problems and they are not feeling that well, is to talk about it, is to embrace that you have members that maybe are stressed, then you have others that have anxiety, maybe you have others that have different symptoms and they don't feel too well. I think that them opening up about the anxiety of having this strong bond and this wonderful career is also part of them, helping the group to keep being honest with each other and keep sustaining this healthy dynamic. It's like, if you have a member that is anxious, if you have someone that is not happy, if you have someone that is struggling, talk about it. Put it on the table and just, state, and even telling the fans, like, guys, we have this situation. Yeah, we're always together, we're always like trying to do our best, but today we don't feel that well. And also, put it as a possibility. Put it like, you are also capable of feeling anxiety, or of feeling anxious, or of feeling worried, or feeling like you cannot achieve a level of contentment, or being happy. Just, talk about this, talk about it, let it out. Don't try to hide it. Just let people know that, you also sometimes struggle mentally. Yeah, it could be someone that has like a strong. Is someone a Leo in there? No, right? No. But I think that when I say fire, I think that it could be like a fire placement as well, not necessarily. I think that it's someone that is very straightforward, like they don't measure their words, they're like, okay, this is how I feel. And probably when they say it, it's something spontaneous that maybe it changes. It's not like they have this is why sometimes maybe they say things and they don't think about the consequences, because it's like, oh yeah, I said it, but then a week later they change their minds, and they even forget what they said. So it's not like a grudge, it's not something that that is done on purpose. It's something like, oh, I came on my mind that day and I said it, and I didn't know that you would get upset because of that. But there's with the Seven of Swords, there's something about you throwing the rock and hiding the hand, like, okay. Yes. No Leo. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to continue with Twice. Well, Twice is going through transformation, definitely. It's going through a transformation. It's going through a transformation that is probably, justice, balance, all the way. These girls are getting, maybe the rest that they deserve, the happy times that they deserve, maybe even money that is being owed to them. But yeah, I think that this is sort of adjusting their dynamic as well, and it's going to bring happiness in the future, because they do love each other a lot. It's just that some things had to end. There's something that had to end, that they probably were asking for a more balance, maybe retribution or recognition. For them, we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Death card, and we have the Ten of Cups. And then we have the card of justice, that is balance. So maybe, you know, there's something about them, you know, the advice of this card, you know, when things get tough, is that you always have to find balance, because there was an imbalance in the group, and I don't think that it's about them, you know, having differences with each other, but probably there was an imbalance in, like, okay, you gave this person more than you gave us, and this had to stop. And I believe is coming to an end, because I do see it with the death card in the middle, because it's very interesting that I have the card of balance, that is the justice card. We see this, there's a scaling here, and in the Six of Pentacles we also have a scale. So it's all about, you know, opportunities. It's all about, you know, like, you know, being fair, like, you know, give us the same, give us the same. Don't forget about this person. You know, this person worked really hard, but you didn't pay that much attention, or you didn't recognize them enough, or you didn't give them that much, I don't know, could it be promotion? I think that this is not about the girls, because at the end with the Ten of Cups, they also are like a family. You know, there's a very emotional bond, and they want to stay together. They will stay together, but some things have to change. You know, this is why probably a change in their contract as well. The Six of Pentacles, you know, it's about contract. It's about, you know, being meticulous about, like, okay, give us our part, like, and be fair. Be fair. I think that this whole reading is about, like, stop with the unfairness. Just, you know, change. Let's change our ways. Let's not do things the way we have been doing them. Let's change. Let's change. And I think that, you know, when I see these cards, you know, when I think about the justice, you know, balance, I think that it's not just, you know, something that goes on inside the group dynamic. It probably has to do with the treatment that the group receives in comparison to other groups in the company. You know, it's like, you know, we as a group, we feel like you didn't give us, you know, what you gave to the other groups. You know, this could be literally about, you know, about, oh, because we are a girl group, you know, things weren't enough. Things weren't enough. Like, it's not that they treated poorly. I think that I don't see it here, but it affected the relationship. Them looking aside and being like, oh, you know, they gave this, and us. What about us? So somehow, you know, with the Six of Pentacles, there was a lot of comparison. Like, oh, wow, look at that. You know, and with the Death card, there's something about them coming to an end, a transformation with that. It's like, we have established our conditions, we don't want to bring it out again. Things are about to change. Things are about to change, and it's coming to a more happy resolution. You know, with Ten of Cups, I think that the girls are more satisfied with their dynamic, or with what they had accomplished together. Maybe they had requested something and it was granted at the end for them, so they are so happy. They are so happy. But I think that there was a moment, you know, with the Six of Pentacles, there was a moment where they were like, you know, we feel like beggars. We're always asking you to give us this. We have to remind you that you have to give us this, that you said that you were going to give us this and you didn't. You know, like, there's a lot of insistence, you know, very, you know, like, I have to be repetitive and I have to be consistent, because otherwise you forget about us. So, you know, some things have to change. And here I think that the dynamic is okay, because you know, in these cards I don't see like a figure, you know, like a figure of the court being like, oh, there's a member that, you know, is the one that stands out, or is the one that receives this and the other don't. No, I think that is like a general feeling in this case. I think that for twice members, whatever they were asking for the group, it wasn't granted. You know, it felt like it took forever for them to get something that they wanted, you know. So Maybe there were moments where they were also, they felt like they were asking too much. There's things like, do I have to settle for this? Maybe we do deserve this. Is this correct? Are these numbers okay? Like, but yeah, I think that now with the desk card in the middle, it's like finally they will not have to worry about this. So I wonder if this actually took up, know more about numbers, or they know more about some things, being like, yeah, we notice a change in this, and this is not the same. So it's not about wanting to compare themselves, but there was a lack of resources, and they probably tired, and they were like, I have to say something. I have to say something. Yeah, with justice, I think that also when, this is as an advice about the group, if the dynamic don't, it seems like it's not going well, you always look for balance. And probably this is like a reminder that things have to be fair in this group, because maybe this is a group that is necessary for them to remember that they have to invest, or not them, but maybe the company, that if you have, I don't know how many members they are, if they are 9 or 10, I don't know, but I know there are a lot of girls in there. But it's like you have to keep this, for the girls to be aligned, for them to be happy, for them to be satisfied with themselves. You have to give them, each one of them, the same amount of attention and opportunities, because they deserve it. They have proven themselves in the industry that they are very hardworking, that they continue to do their work, that they are very responsible. So 9, okay, 9. So the key here is to always be fair. Always, every time you're going to give someone something, you have to think how this is going to impact the others. And I know that it sounds very robotic and not very, not very, spontaneous, but it has to be like this. It has to be like this. I think that they have a strong bond. They are family at this point in their careers. So it's not like they are fighting. There's no arguments in here. But I think that maybe there was moments of a lot of unfairness. So this is why I have the six. I have the scales twice. So somehow it's like keep the scale, keep it fair, keep it balanced. Don't give more to others and not to the others. Keep it balanced. Thank God their bond, their love for each other is not affected. But some things, some managements had to change. Some contracts maybe had to change because it wasn't fair. And for the justice card to appear for an advice for dynamic, it means that this is necessary. They have to remember to keep the balance in the group. Not too much for the other, not too much for the other one. You have to be balanced with all of them. You have to be fair with all of them. Yeah, I don't know why. I wonder if it's like, I don't know why it's doing that. I wonder if it's like the wind. Probably it's the wind. I have to check that because honestly, we had a look at the internet cable and it was okay, but we sort of arranged it in this place to see maybe if it was strained or something like that, and we accommodated it. But yeah, it's a moment. Yeah, I noticed. I'm also watching it over here, and I noticed that there's something weird about this. It's not as bad as the other time, but there's something that maybe we will have to look at the roof, on the top of the roof, if there's like something like that is like loose. Maybe it's the wind because it's very windy, and maybe it's like shaking something, a part of the installation. So yeah. Thank you guys for your patience, for staying with me, even though, you know, the last live streams, they have been very chaotic, and it's a shame because actually we were, you know, very excited to talk about astrology, but the internet was awful. Okay, I'm going to continue with TXT, the dynamic. TXT. Well, I got 2 cards as an advice. The cards are very chatty about TXT. They somehow are spilling the tea. And I can see it here. They are sort of pointing the finger and they're like, it's the company. Is the company sabotaging TXT? The company or their style of training them, or like giving them education. I don't know. I mean, I think that I said this when I read for Jeonjun. When I read for Jeonjun, I said something about like, you better break the law. Not the law, not the legal law, but you better start like rebelling a bit in order to get what you want, because the company probably is not going to give him what he wants. There's going to be something that is going to be missing. So somehow, you know, you have to come up with your own style of, you know, speaking up for yourself, or maybe, you know, promoting maybe your own work or your individuality, because there's something here that is not, you know, it's not okay. Like the old rules or the old system of education that they have, that somehow it feels very present and rigid on TXT. So probably they pressure and they put these sort of rules on TXT, but they don't put it on other artists that they have. So I'm like, okay. For TXT, 9 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Hierophant. And then we have these 2 cards that came as an advice in case they have troubles in their dynamic, you know, how they can improve this, the dynamic. And we have the Page of Wands that it says exploration. So see, they have to get courageous. They have to start exploring other options. And the Ace of Cups that it says rebirth. Rebirth. Yeah, they have to protect their bond. I think that there's something about them, you know, maybe the management of the group is not very well these days. There's something that is not okay here. So it affects the group dynamic. It affects the group dynamic. And I think that with the Page of, as an advice, the Page of Wands in exploration, you know, and also the Ace of Cups, is like you have to be more active about protecting your connection with the guys or your connection with the group. You have to protect yourselves. Go and talk to other groups, go to talk. It doesn't have to be from the same company. You can go and explore, you know, and maybe become friends with other artists and ask them about their experience. Like, oh, did you go through this? You know, explore. But somehow don't forget to share this that you know, or share this experience, or share this advice with the group. I mean, like, okay, guys, this is what we are going to do. Because probably we have members, you know, that are more sensitive than others. This is why we have the Ace of Cups. So there's this strong feeling of like we need to take care of our emotionality, you know. Definitely there could be a bit of sabotage. It's very literal here, that I think that the company, I don't know, could it be that the company somehow gives something to a member, and they do it very strategically in order to maybe sabotage the others or get the others to be dissatisfied with this member. Because with the Nine of Pentacles is giving me like, oh, the talent, how talented they are, how hard they are working. But then we have, the company, and we have this. So there's someone like constantly going, because the company tells them, attacking the talent of the group, or attacking the potential of the group. And they are following the rules of a company. They are following what they are being told, or they are following the rules, or they are following what they have been trained to do. So I see that somehow, there's a lot of talent, or there's a lot of success available for TXT, but somehow there has been certain management or decisions that are like attacking this evolution of the group. Because talent, there is talent, popularity, exposure, they are very loved by. Just that I see that there's certain rules, or there's certain changes being applied to them specifically, that somehow it feels like an attack. It feels like you are attacking their potential to become more famous, or their potential to become more relevant. Because the talent in here, there is. It's just that there's sabotage here. There's sabotage. And when I see the Hierophant, I see the company. For me, it's like the company card. And it's like this is done on purpose. And is aggressive, because the Knight of Swords is like, you're working, you're very secure on yourself, or you're very secure on your group. And all of a sudden you get a news, or you get someone telling you like, no, you cannot do that, or no, you're not going to do this, or no, this is not good enough. Or even someone like, because I think that it's like an attack to their resources, or their talents, their natural talents, or what they possess. So it could be like a bad management, in the sense that, for example, you have members that they are so talented, or you have a member that is talented in this in particular. But then you give them a lesson, or you lecture them, or you guide them, and you're like, no, this is, you don't work like that. You have to change. This is not how you have to sing. You have to sing the other way. Don't use your voice like this. Use it the other way. And by doing this, you are somehow ruining that person's voice, or that person's style, or that person's ability. You are not helping. You are actually making it worse. So it's like bad advice. It's like bad advice. Bad advice, bad coaches. And it all comes from the company. When I read for Jun, I got also the company, and I was like, you better, since he's so charming, and I know he's not the leader, but there's something about him probably, having more exposure, he can get away with things. And somehow in my reading, I was like, if you want things to go in your favor, it would be nice if you could somehow escape and explore options to promote yourself better, or do something for yourself, or go viral for something, like create your own opportunities, because they're not going to give it to you. Something is happening, definitely. And I think that in this is my first reading, this is my first spread, where I actively see a company sabotaging the dynamic of a group. Because I think that it's not the members hating each other. It's more like the company is in the middle. The company is the one that sets the mood for this dynamic, and they are not doing it for the group to improve or being better. Could be favoritism as well. But yeah, I think that the advice in here is for them to explore another ways of, somehow being better teammates to each other. They have to get these advices from somewhere else. The page the Page of Wands, exploration, the Ace of Cups, rebirth. They have to rebuild their bond, their connection. They have to go, I would say even behind the backs of the company and be like, okay, guys, this is what we are going to do for us, for our dynamic, or for the interest, for the future of our group. We have to talk, or we have to, start being like this with each other, or helping each other out, or talk more about how we feel. We have to be better together. Literally, I know that that the group is how is it, the group tomorrow by together. Is that the real name of the group TXT? But well, they have to take that name literal. Tomorrow by together, but without the company, because why do I feel like the company is sabotaging this group? Like, it's so obvious. I didn't get it. I didn't get this for other groups, but I did get it for them. Poor guys. Yes, tomorrow by together. Thank you. Yeah, they have to secure their tomorrow, because and there's very intuitive. This is why we have the Ace of Cups. There's very creative and intuitive people in there. They have very intuitive people in the group. So somehow the one that is like the explorer, the one that is like has the possibility to be like the wanderer, the one that knows more people, that is more outgoing, that one can go and explore and get like different opinions and experiences, and then bring it back to the other ones, the ones that are more maybe introverts, but they are more sensitive and intuitive, and share this with them, and together you build a new dynamic that benefits the group. Because I think that at this pace, they only have to rely on each other and not tell other people. Yes. I feel so sad for them, but I could see the attack, literally. The attack to their own talents, to their own, possibilities, to, they are really talented people. Like, they have a lot. It's just that there's sabotage. Okay. Enhypen, let's see the dynamic. Okay, for Enhypen, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Tower, and we have the Judgment. And then, yeah, as an advice for their, to improve their teamwork or their group dynamic, is the Nine of Cups, emotional stability. When I see this Queen of Swords, I'm like, this could be a member, this could be someone that is very sharp. I think that there's something about this group walking a very thin line between a scandal or maybe they say something and it just explodes. Because there's a lot of judgment towards maybe what they say to each other, how they treat each other, and people go crazy. So I would watch out with whatever I say if I was them. Which I don't think that it can be helped, because they are very communicative, and I don't think that they will apologize even if they say something that people are like, oh my god. but I don't know why I feel like their career is like that, like very thin on, like, what did you say? But this could be a member that is controversial when they speak, or this could be the fans. This could be the fans, honestly. We have to give it to them. Sometimes when I see the fandom in the middle, I have to say it. The Tower and the Judgment is chaotic. They could destroy them or giving them back to life. Bringing them back to life. That's what I mean. Because the Queen of Swords is like this exhaustive analysis and observation and entitlement of like, oh, we don't like this that you did, so change it. Judgment is also maybe being very critical towards the members and making the members feel a bit unease, like, I don't know where I'm standing, I don't know if I'm loved or if you guys don't like me. I feel judged all the time. 24/7. So there's this crisis. There's this, I think that there's their dynamic, it feels like a very heavy, a very unstable ground where whatever you say is going to be used against you. They are going to judge you. Literally, I see the judgment here and I see the tower. So somehow I'm like, what is going on with Enhypen? Like, do people like really are very dependent on everything that they say? Because it seems serious. It seems like, and also, the Queen of Swords is giving me that maybe, this is a group that they love to talk. Or they're very chatty. They feel very like doing, or they really know what they're saying. They're very spontaneous. They love to communicate. They love technology. They love, to be connected. And they're very honest with each other. Sometimes maybe they are too honest with each other, but it's like their conversation is what they say to each other. It's like there's no BS in here. There's no sugarcoating. There's no like, oh, you're my baby. No. This is the energy, the chaotic energy of men of their age. But with the judgment, it's like, you could be ruining your reputation if you keep saying those things. So, I don't know. I see it a bit like dangerous. I feel it like, if it's about their group dynamic, it doesn't feel spontaneous. It feels like, a bomb is going to explode at some point. I don't know if someone is going to start like a conversation and then it's going to go bad, or usually when someone talks, that goes bad, or it goes viral for the wrong reasons and people start commenting. So I think that there's a bit of, it's a lot of drama. A lot of judgment, a lot of, fingers being pointed at certain members. Oh, you said this. Oh, no, but you said this. So, a lot of work on this dynamic. A lot of work. Things are very unstable here, and I think that it's all because of one small comment. It's like it can go bad. And it's also like, this feeling of theirs being like, but I cannot even talk. I cannot even say what I think, that I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be burned, like literally. And they are very honest with each other. The Queen of Swords is like, yeah, I said what I said, but it's not that big of a deal. They probably mess with each other a lot. Like they call each other's names, But I feel it like it's not, for them, it's not like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. No, it's about them being truth. It's about them stating the obvious, maybe, and people are not ready to have that conversation, or they are not ready to have idols that treat each other like this. But yeah, some of them are very controversial. They say certain things that you're like, oh my God, what? That it wouldn't be a problem if it was, them being men of their age, but because it's K-pop, it is there's judgment waiting. There's like someone knocking on your door and be like, excuse me, what did you say? So I don't know. I think that the advice for them and their group dynamic, with the Nine of Cups, is this emotional stability. So honestly, I think that at the end, there's the guys. There's something about them is like emotionally, or their connection is not affected by this that they say. Maybe people probably assume that, oh my God, you offended that person and you hurt their feelings, and it's like you are being cruel, and they are very emotionally stable people. They are very emotionally intelligent. They have the emotional resources. They have, they probably are very open with each other emotionally. They are doing very well emotionally. They are doing very well. So maybe people are like, oh no, this that you said is going to break this person's heart and it's not acceptable. And for them it's like, but we are a very emotionally a stable group. It's just that maybe you guys think that we have something against each other, but actually no, the group is very satisfied with each other. There's no heartbreak, there's no cheat, there's no deceiveness, or someone cheating on the other person, or someone lying to the other person, or someone being like, oh, this is a treason, or you offend. No, they actually are very happy with each other. It's just men being men. Yes, exactly. It's just men being men. Yeah, it's not that deep. It's just that I see their very chaotic behavior. Definitely. I when I saw this, I'm like, someone said something. It seems like they dropped a bomb, and everything got like, our career is trembling. You said this, and I think that the person was just being very honest, and the career is like the foundation of their career, and their image is like about to collapse, and then there's judgment, but they are like, I didn't mean it like that. But they are chaotic like that. It's part of their identity. And I think that the Queen of Swords is them, all of them being like this. It's like they take turns to be this Queen of Swords. It's not like it's always the same people. They all share the same mentality. They are very much like that. Or maybe they like to provoke each other or tease each other, and they do it in ways that for them is hilarious and is authentic, and for people it's like, oh no, there's someone waiting at the door being like, come here, we have to talk. And them just being themselves, because one thing that I must say about their group dynamic is that they are very outspoken. They are very honest with each other, and they probably roast each other a lot. Yes, they probably do, and it's part of their dynamic, and it's part of who they are. They don't sugarcoat things. They are very honest. They're very communicative. They love to talk, and they are very honest with everyone, not just among the members, but probably with the company. They are like, no, we don't like this. We're not going to do this. No. um, but but yeah, in order for them to probably, like I said, to improve their group dynamic is to go back to the Nine of Cups, the emotional stability, that they are very satisfied, that they are very, um, um, very, that they have the support that they need, that they are probably very happy and just very normal guys, that they are not, crying in the corner and no one is hurting someone and is affecting their mental health. No one is stressing like that. So why people assume that, I don't know. But well, it's part maybe of the exposure. It's part of that. There's a lot of people watching. Probably there's young people watching, and maybe there's a kind of language or expression that they use that, yeah, it could be very controversial, and they're like, no, you guys cannot say that. But for them, it's like being themselves. But I can see the career, be like, oh, the foundation of their career for guys. And then be like, what? What happened? Why? I was just trying to be goofy. Yes. They're actually very happy. They're very satisfied people. Yeah, they have everything that they need. Yeah. They're very healthy guys also. There's no lack of, they have the support that they need. They have their family, friends, they're very healthy guys of their age. Yes. So yeah, no one is suffering. Yeah. But they are in charge, definitely. Very powerful. And I think that honestly, with the Queen of Swords, you're not going to get them to change. They are like this. They are like this. They're not going to change because it's the way they are. They are men of their age. They are like this. So I think that, but also maybe, with the judgment, it is the judgment of, social media and people just be very, specific about, oh my God, what did they do? Oh my God, what did they say? Oh, they shouldn't, and it's like the judgment that always follows around these idols and celebrities. And that also is not going to go anywhere. That's also going to stay. It's very much like stuck. But I don't see the guys like being like, oh, I'm going to talk less, or because it's so authentic for them. They do it. They don't do it with like, oh, I'm going to try to be funny right now. No, they're just talking. Yes, the Enhypen is so aware. Everyone, let's just relax. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. This was great. I hope that the live stream you can watch it without interruptions. I'm going to see if today I can rewatch it myself to see if it looks okay. I know there was a bit of interruption. I seen it on the other screen, so I hope you don't miss much. But yeah, I don't know what is it. Today is very windy, so we will have to check upstairs what is the problem. Because the internet is working, like it's not cutting. Yeah, guys. Okay, guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. So yeah, like I was reflecting, when we were talking about the Luluness, maybe I should create, for Wednesday these readings for, how the Lulu they are next to their crush or the person that they like, if they fantasize. So yeah, let's do this on Wednesday. I will try to formulate it better, so then you guys can leave your recommendations in the community post. But yes, thank you guys for being here. Have a lovely Sunday. Bye.